Follow Equestria Brotherhood by Knuckle Wolf. Chapter 7. Ground level. All kinds went about their lives, strolling the sky-stopped streets. It was a rather brownish morning. A cool breeze pressed every other second past the Sky City. The 4 ponies exited Lucy's sack, all geared up and ready for a hard day's work, more or less. Lucy locked her door with the keys she kept in her pocket, her sniper rifle hanging at her side. Gee, I'm stuffed. I haven't had a meal that good since we left Macon. Said satisfying, rather sunk merrily. I hope you ate well. You ate half of the fucking food, Lucy said negatively, moving away from the sack as the door she had just locked. Yeah, brother, you need to start eating less, and a little more slowly. At least he was kind enough to leave some for the rest of us, Allie said, fixing her saddlebags. Lucy moved up to the group, standing just outside her sack. You kids done yapping? Because we're burning cloudlight, she said, starting to walk off without them, grumping pissed off look on her face. She stopped for a moment and looked back to the group to see if they were even moving. It then surprised her that they were still standing at the door. She sighed with frustration as she walked back to the group. It's this way. You can see that, can't you? She snickered down. Oh yeah, we know. It's just that Brother's trying to help Allie with her bag, Alice said cautiously. Lucy looked at the two for a second. Meh. She grunted as she waited for them. Neo finished attaching the last strap to Allie. There, all done, Neo said, patting her bag down gently. Thanks for helping me, Neo, Allie said, giving him a cute smile. Neo blushed a bit at her. No problem. I like to help, he said shyly. Can we get going now? Lucy complained, rolling her eyes at the two, then walking back to her original route. Yeah, brother, we should really start moving, Alice said, trying to trot towards Lucy. Okay, we're coming, Neo and Allie shouted at them as they dashed to catch up. The city was not as pretty as it was the night before. The lights were still on, but the increased brightness made it harder for them to see. There was also a significantly low amount of pony folk in the resident district, but that soon changed the farther they moved into the city. They were taking a different route than the one they had taken to enter the city. Rather, the bridge they crossed this time descended into a lower building. The building they were approaching was much, much larger than the trade and residential district. It looked to be at least 5 times the size of both together. As they walked along the metal-sheeted bridge in this new district, a huge glowing sign welcomed them to the new area. Welcome to the Comics District, it displayed on orange lettering. The Comics District was huge. Small shops and tents were everywhere, selling an assortment of items. First metal, straight for the coal mines. Free release days, an hour you get them. If you don't like them, then try another. Now selling Colts and Phillies at a discount price. Neil went up to Lucy to talk with her. They sell slaves here? He asked quietly as they passed the slave trader Trent. Yep, she said as plainly as there were nothing. Welcome to the city. That's not even right. How come other ponies treat each other like that? Throughout history, not once have ponies enslaved other ponies before it. He was interrupted by the smack on the back of his head. Ow! What's that for? He said, rubbing his head where she had hit him. Shut it. This district is crawling with slavers. And you don't get too happy when a punk, smart-ass kid gives them crap about their business. She scolded him quietly. And what the heck is a relief slave? Neil whispered to Lucy, putting his hoof down. She lifted her hoof up, preparing to strike. Please, not again, Neil said as he flinched her gesture. Listen, kid. Have you ever wanted some pony to do anything for you before? She asked him. No, not really, Neil said hesitantly. Well, those slaves there are for colts and fillies who like to fuck a lot. Neo cringed a bit. That's sick. Making some pony do that against their will. That's basically rape, Neo said, stomping his hoof down in anger. It's a messed up world, kid. It's a messed up world, she said, returning to her trotting. Al didn't pay attention to the slaver tents, where he was just taken by the many booths and tents selling old pre-war tech. Tech from Equestria, some local tech, and even some new technology they had created, you name it. The place had it. Of all the things in the district, one thing made Adam squeal. It was a little disc levitating a rock. Suddenly he slipped away from her group for just a moment to check it out. No pony would notice. He stepped away from the group just for a moment as he ran over to the tent to talk to the large unicorn running a stand. Neo noticed that Adam hadn't really spoken for a while, so like any good brother, he slowed down so he could talk to him. To his surprise, when he stopped and looked behind him, Adam was there. Instantly, 1,000 scenarios went racing through his mind. Adam got taken by slavers, or he was taken by thugs, or maybe he just got lost in the crowd, or maybe he stopped panicking for a moment as he sighed for relief. Found Adam just barely sticking out of the crowd looking for him. Hey guys, wait up a sec for Adam, Neil said to the group before trying towards his formerly lost brother. The group paused for a second, waiting for Neil to get to Adam. Neil danced up to Adam with worry in his eyes. Adam! He barked as he looked down at his little brother. Adam knew he did something wrong. He backed up, finding his ears. I know I strayed off, but I just wanted to look at this stuff and... Neil interrupted him furiously. I don't care. You could have been taken, or hurt, or... His nuts where he ran for a moment, cooled off. I thought I would lose you, he said, looking sorry. Adam perked up a bit. It's okay, brother. I shouldn't have wandered off without your approval first. Only where what I did was wrong. I'm sorry, he said seriously. Well, I just don't want to have to beat up 100 thugs today, he said with a small smile on his face. Then I worked, Adam thought to himself as well over Neil. Now I have a good present as his birthday comes. Oh, isn't he going to be surprised? He had a maniacal laugh running through his mind, as he was some kind of mad scientist pony. Now, let's get back to Lucy before she hits me in the head again. Neil chuckled, facing the group again, and trying with Val to catch up. They were halfway into the district when they started to see a significantly large amount of guards, sprite bots, and posters. The posters themselves were well-drawn pictures displayed on tents, walls, and windows. Large guards saluting a green hoof with a star in the middle were displayed on each poster saying, The Legion needs you. Join now or restart the future today. One of the odd things, besides the large amount of guards, was the graffiti that was painted on several posters. Every other poster bared giant blue X's painted on them. Some of them were words replaced with the Legion lies. It was apparent that Lucy knew what was going on with all the guards. As for the rest of the group, they were clueless as to what was happening. Neil looked around the guards, and tiny orb robots that hovered through the air, broadcasting messages of peace, love, and progress. My little ponies, this is me, the Emperor. I do hope that I am not need to repeat myself when I say that irrational behavior will not be tolerated. If we are to build a better tomorrow for our ponies, then we must be willing to obey law. For you see, law is order. Just remember the law's 10, and you shall live freely without worry. Now, our nation's national anthem. The powerful voice changed to patriotic music as the little machine drifted away. As they started to leave the center of the district, they approached a large cloud standing in front of the stage. The stage had 6 or 2 green armor-clad soldiers, with helmets stacked to the gas masks. They almost didn't look like ponies with their dark visors and clanky metal armor. Behind the guards, facing the wall, were 4 ponies. 2 earth ponies and 2 unicorn ponies. They each had blindfolds on, stood perfectly still. Except for a unicorn who was shaking violently with terror. What's going on over there? Adam asked, stopping at distance to see. Lucy stopped to answer him. Listen, kid. If you don't want to vomit, I suggest we keep moving. Adam didn't listen. Instead, he watched the whole thing unfold. Allie and Neil noticed it as he joined Adam in watching. A guard moved up onto the stage and moved to the middle, displaying himself more than the other 5. He spoke in a loud, booming voice so the whole crowd could hear. These 4 have been accused of slander and irrational behavior against His Majesty High Lord Vladimir. The evidence is that these 4 were found with blue stolen paint for the Great District, and they are also accused of disgracing His Majesty's recruitment centers and posters. He stopped for a second, turned to a unicorn guard, and nodded at them. The other guard then began to remove blindfolds from each pony. Then he started to continue his speech. The blindfolds of disbelief have been removed. Laws and punishment will be enlisted. The accused shall be granted their last words after the trial. He pulled out a piece of paper, levitated in front of his face so he could read. The accused have broken 3 of the laws of 10 of the Iron Hoof Legion. You have broken Law 3, never disgrace the Legion. You have broken Law 6, resisting Legion arrest, and Law 9, speaking for rights. In correlation with this, you have been sentenced to death by firing squad. Celestia guide you to the afterlife. He stepped back and nodded to the rest of the soldiers. No! Promise! And their plain face screamed into the crowd. Tears ran down her eyes as she watched the firing squad line up with the criminals. She started struggling on stage to get to him. Travis, don't die, please, no, please. She cried out as she was being held back by 2 guards. She called on her sorrow as she watched her loved one stand, ready to meet her death. No, please, Travis, she called once more. One of the guards shoved her back into the crowd. Shut up or you'll join him, he threatened. The accused will now speak their last words. Each one will step forward and state their will and step back. The guard with the paper shouted, motioning his head to the first criminal. The first one was an earth-pointing cult, shaking violently in fear. He stumbled forward, shouted to the crowd, I'm innocent! I didn't do anything! Please, I got rule of law! His face was terrified and dragging. Tears ran down his eyes as he begged for help. Step back! A guard near him barked. He stepped back, bumbling his innocence. The guard pointed to Travis. Travis took 1 step forward. In his eyes, he knew what he had done, and he was ready to embrace death. With a deep breath, he sat proudly to the audience. I am Travis. I am a captain of the Steelhoof Coalition. I die for freedom, honor, and everything that these tyrants stand against. Let me not be forgotten. Let freedom be brought to prominence. He stopped to look down for a second, a gloom hovering over his face. I am sorry, Bella, he muttered softly, stepping back with a gentle tear rolling down his face. Next criminal, the guard barked, but the earth-pointing just stood there, looking at the crowd with a hardened, serious facial expression. And you? He barked next to the criminal. He did the same as previous point. Very well, he said, turning to the fire squad. Marks ponies ready, he commanded. The firing squads prepared their rifles. Click, 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 click. Aim! Fire! Neil and Adam turned away from the horrible scene. Bang! They looked to see all the criminals down on the ground, dead. Large, gashing wounds pierced their bodies as blood seeped out of them. The bodies will be kept here for display until tomorrow. Let this serve as a sign to any who oppose the Legion, the guard shouted. Oh, hail the Legion, the guard shouted in unison. Lily, whose left one was part of the accused, just lay there on the ground, moping with sorrow. The whole crowd dispersed, gloomy aura hanging over them. That isn't right, Neil said, turning back slowly, Lucy slowly. Loss shouldn't be handled like that. He muttered grimly, walking away from the scene. His head hung low in mournful fashion. Adam just stood there, looking down, thinking. He thought about who the Legion was, and why did we sentence the ponies to death for graffiti? To him, it didn't make sense at all. Adam, Neil called to him, we're going, he barked angrily. Adam stepped out of his thinking state, returned to reality. He turned his gaze to the group, dashed towards them without saying a word. Lucy stood in front of a large wooden board covered in a variety of colored paper. The board had a small iron rectangle on top of the words workboard engraved on it. There was 4 sections of the board. Each one had a small label which categorized each form of work. One box was labeled food service, one was labeled military work, and 2 were work for Undercity. Lucy skimmed through each paper on the Undercity section. Neil, Adam, and Allie managed to catch up to her and join her, staring at the large board. What are you looking for? Adam said, staring at the 10 jobs available on the board. I'm looking for... She paused for a moment, narrowing her eyes to inspect one paper. There, she announced, putting her left forearm on top of the job. The other 3 moved closer to see what it was. So what's the job? Lucy removed her forearm, causing Adam and Neil to back away from the board. This job is very, very important. Screw this up, there'll be hell to pay. Not only that, but you'll probably get killed, she said negatively. The trio looked puzzled at the remark. What's so special about this job? Neil stepped in. Lucy sighed. Can't actually tell you. Like I said before, I'll probably get hunted down if I fail. So please, just don't ask questions. Just do what you're told, okay? Fine, Neil said stubbornly. Together, the 4 tried to a small metal box-shaped building that was behind the board. It was exactly the same as the elevator that brought them up to the city originally. Lucy pressed a large red button that stuck out on the side of the entrance. Then clank! A large metal door slid open, exposing another elevator. Lucy decided to move inside first, the others following directly behind her. She turned her head to a group with a smirk on her face. Going down, She said, slamming the button down with the leftmost side of the elevator room. Clunk! Went the metal door sliding shut quickly. Before they knew it, they were starting to descend into the deep, dark depths of the city. It was loud, dark inside the elevator, only a small red light for illumination. The elevator bumped up and down as the elevator passed out to floor after floor. Streaks of light passed by them as they continued their descent. After about 2 minutes, the elevator began to draw to a halt. With a small, tearful ding, the door slid open, exposing a long, dark hallway. The hallway was made of dark iron, and lined up and down with pipes creaking and shuddering, and by the presence deep inside them. A loud echoing followed, adding the eerie feeling the hallway was giving off. Small lights lit up the path as the four emerged from the elevator into the corridor. Alan was shivering with fright as the four moved down the hallway. Neil was shivering coldly, noticing the temperature difference in the air. You could see his in every point of his breath and the faint glow of the tiny lights that led up their way to the end. Allie moved closer to Neil, slightly sickly. She moved close enough to be brushing against him, before turning to a full snuggle. "It's to keep warm," she said softly, snuggling up to him. Neil blushed as he felt a small surge of warmth race throughout his body. It was no longer aware of the grim place that they were in. Rather, he was content. That was, until they reached the end of the hallway. Once there, Lucy tapped on the huge metal door that stood before them. A small slit opened up near the middle of the door, exposing only a cold eyes. A shy young voice came from the other side. "What do you want?" the voice demanded. "I'm Providence Guardian Lucy Luck. And this is my crew, Cupcake," Lucy mocked him. "I don't care who you are. I asked what do you want?" "Well, Cupcake, I just want to take up that mean little job that no pony in the city wants to do." "One sec. How many ponies do you have?" "4. Okay, hold on." Close the slit in the door went silent for a few seconds. A few moments later, he reopened the slit, exposing his dark eyes again. "You can come in, but make it fast or you'll let out the heat." The slit closed and the door shook and clanked open. There, on the other side, was a unicorn colt, wearing a dark green suit of armor of some kind, large gray helmet on. Come in, he barked out, motioning for them to come faster. The four hurried away as they felt a blast of warm air bristle against their coats. Lucy only stopped for a moment to address the stallion. "Thank you, Cupcake," she said tauntingly. She patted him on the cheek and continued on. He started to mumble negative insults to himself as he pressed the button that closed the door. "Cloudy, we have workers here," he called out to the door right at the exit. "One sec. Trying to get the suits together," a bear called back from behind the door. The stallion who let them in removed his helmet with magic, exposing his head. He looked no older than Neo, no bigger either. He had a white mane and a light green coat. "Welcome to the entrance of the Undercity. Where you see entrance 9. My name is Deja. I'm the gatekeeper," he said, proudly moving over to the next door. Pressed another button, opening what looked like to be a living quarters area made for them. Inside was a light brown unicorn bear wearing the same kind of suit. She was levitating 3 neatly folded suits that looked just like the ones they were wearing. "One sec. I need to get the last one. Then I gotta find the helmets," she said, going through a footlocker next to her green bunk. "There we go," she exclaimed, levitating the 4 suits along with 4 helmets that went with them. She exited the living quarters and moved to the small room the other 5 were standing in. "I have your suits ready," she said cheerfully. She rested each suit in front of each pony. Anne looked down at the suit, curious as to why they needed them at all. Lucy was surprised. "Well, you're not as stupid as I thought. These suits are actually in decent condition for once." Anne raised his hoof in the air, trying to ask a question. "Yeah, what is it?" the mayor said, looking toward him. Yeah, I was wondering why we need these in the first place." The brown filly looked at Lucy after his question with an odd look on her face. "Is this kid for real?" she asked Lucy. "Mm-hmm. Great," she said, rolling her eyes. "Before I go on, is there anybody else who hasn't been down here before?" she asked, looking at Allie and Neil. And yes, and Allie and Neil said, "Yeah, pretty much." They both looked embarrassed at the situation. "All right, let's all give you a real quick lesson on radiation," she grumbled. She started to speak in babyish tone. "Radiation is bad, really bad. If you get too much of it, you die. And out there, radiation is everywhere. So in order to keep you living, we need to put on these little old suits, okay?" She ended her lesson with a forced grin on her face. Lucy was smiling at the speech he had given. The other three, however, didn't find it as amusing as Lucy did. With a straight face, Neil spoke. You know I'm 20, right? He pointed out. Her smile died as she sighed. Just get the stupid suits on, she grumbled angrily. The other stallion had already moved to the door with right of the room, waiting for them to finish getting their rad suits on. Daisy giggled and chuckled at the sight, watching Neil and Adam struggle to get their dark suits on. Neil finally managed to get the suit on, with some help from Allie's magic. Within a few moments, all four of them had their suits and helmets on. Damn, these are really hard to put on, Neil commented as he checked his suit to see if it was secured properly.
Brother, it wasn't that hard. Or at least it wasn't when you got your legs inside.
Yeah, kid, it's not that hard. You just gotta suck up your fat gut and it'll squeeze right on. Lucy taunted to Neil. Yeah, very funny, Neil replied sarcastically. The brown filly moved next to the colt and helped him put on a large copper lever, opening the door. Inside the door was a small dark room, with shower heads attached to the ceiling. Alright, kiddies, into the shower you go, Philly said, moving her hoof in the air to signal him to enter. The four moved to the small door, awaiting further orders. The filly moved to the center of the entrance to speak. Now, I need just to help bring back a special water talisman that can only be found in the central water system, roughly 3 miles from here. She paused for a moment to nod at Daisy. His horn started to glow and blue mascara as he grabbed the lever. She started to speak again. There are 2 rules you need to know before we let you go. Rule number 1, whisper, and talk through the short-range radios in your suits. Rule number 2, always keep your suit on at all times. Won't take you long to find out why you need it. The thing you gotta remember is that once it turns dark out there, we lock these doors till morning, and we open them for no pony. She gave him a straight look. Celestia speed, she said before the metal door slammed shut. The closing of the door was followed by a loud alarm, and the floor was sprayed with hot, steaming water. The suits managed to keep the water from physically touching them. They could still feel it pound on them from inside the suits. Went the alarm again as the door to the opposite side opened. Blue rays of light beamed towards the exit. Within seconds, they could see the outside in all of its horror. The exit was on top of the hill, giving them an overview of what looked like to be the ground level to the city. Small rays of blue moon-like light dotted the dark ground. The city floor itself was charred and melted, as if the sun itself had landed on the city, torching everything. Into the sky was the hundreds of bridges that spanned from building to building, not letting the light properly touch the surface. Hundreds of black scarred skeletons, dead ponies leaked everywhere along the small broken roads. Metal carriages and wagons lay melted and broken throughout the city. Wow, Al said, taking it all by the sight. Remember what she said. No talking, not a single fucking word, Lucy said, stepping out of the chamber. Everyone sat down outside the chamber into the world of the past, all stopped by Lucy, who took out small metal chips from her bag. You two come here, she whispered to him. Neil and Adam came to her without saying a word. Here, she whispered, as she started to download something to their pip box. This will mark objective on our maps, she whispered, putting the chips back into her bag. Neil and Adam both looked at their pip box and noted the download. On their EFS, a small orange bud was shown flashing slowly. Both put their pip box down. How did you get that out of your bag without using your mouth? Neil asked quietly. These suits literally have a million features. They have small levitating spells built into them, and it's so there so Earth and Pegasus points can access their inventories easily. She replied, making their way to the hillside. The others took their lead and made their way into the direction of the yellow, flashing blip. The four moved quietly along each side of the old road, stepping lightly as they went. The bridges overhead creaked as they continued on. Each step seemed to echo faintly throughout the old buildings, only provoking the empty feeling the streets gave. This time, Adam took his interest in pointing out the small pre-war posters that he could make out on the sides of the buildings. The only problem was, most of them had been badly burnt, torn up by the time. One poster he saw was a yellow unicorn filly, standing proudly in the sky, holding a shovel with a bright yellow words at the bottom saying, Do your part for the nation. Join the Iron Hoof equestrian workforce today. Remember, industry is our future. After covering 7 blocks, he arrived at a tall building. It was burnt like the others. It didn't have any real significant differences to it. A small blip on Neo and Adams' EFS was flashing faster and faster the closer they got to the building. They got to the entrance, only to find it melted into the rest of the building. Damn, Lucy swore quietly. Before looked around to find another way into the structure. Adam spotted a small glass bridge stuck between two buildings. He continued to follow the bridge, saw it connected to the building next to them. Adam nudged Lucy, getting her attention. What? Lucy said, looking to him. Adam tried to be as quiet as he could, pointing out his plan as he spoke.
I think if we climb up that building there and go across the bridge, we can get into this building from the one over there.
Lucy looked closely at the route he had mentioned. To her, it looked safe enough to try. Fine, but we're going to need to pick out the place if we're going to get out of here before dark. Lucy nudged Neo and Allie. You got it! They both nodded at her. Together, they crossed the street to the next building. It was pale and quiet, with only the sounds of their hostess to comfort them. The building they entered destroyed glass doors, and had a closed sign dangling from the edge of the broken piece of glass. The interior was just as scorched and destroyed from the outside. Black, personally preferred pony statues lay scattered throughout the room in terrified poses.
You look scared.
Al whispered to himself as he followed the rest of the group to the staircase in the corner of the room. It was now that Adam realized that the building they were in was an old apartment complex. He could tell by the frayed posters on the walls advertising for their business. Adam accidentally nudged a metal stick onto the ground that barely tapped into one of the horrified figures. And before he knew it, the figure dissipated into a pile of ash. He backed away from the former figure with surprise. What in the world could have done this? What kind of power could cause suffering and death? He thought to himself sadly. The four made their way out to the dark stairway that towered up to the second-floor building. The stairs entered a hallway as they continued on into eternity. In front of them was a door that had been blasted off with tremendous force. It was outside this room that the metal bridge from the city above had made itself lodged in between the apartment building and their objective. Radiation detected. Threat level high, an artificial computer voice said. Neo and Al jumped into the sound and the loud voices in a random statement. What the heck was that? Neo whispered loudly. Lucy put a hoof to her helmet. Shh! Not so loud. That's your suit. Tells you when there's radiation around. Neo shrugged as he put his pip bug to his ear to listen for the radiation meter. And just like Lucy said, there was a small ticking of his pip bug's radiation meter. Now be quiet, she quietly snapped at him. Neo nodded back to her understandingly. Lucy was back to facing the bridge, placing her hoof on it slightly, and adding more pressure slowly. Looks safe. We're probably going to have to cross it eventually and make it to the other side.
Lucy,
Adam interrupted.
why can't you just fly over there?
She pointed to her back, showing her wings were inside the suit.
Oh, I didn't notice,
Adam said slightly. She ignored him and started to make their way to the other side of the bridge. She stepped slightly, trying to make her way over to the bridge as the bridge creaked and shook as she continued. In a few minutes, she had made it to the other side safely. She turned around to face the back of the group on the other side, waving to them to come across. Allie stepped forward and started to make her way to their side. Neo was watching nervously as she carefully made her way across. Soon, she too made it to the other side to join Lucy. Al stepped up and started to cross. About midway into crossing the bridge, slid down a bit, circling slightly to the side. Adam felt a bolt of panic race through him as he struggled to get a hold of his balance. Everyone else gasped as he held their breath. Even Lucy panicked for a moment. Stabilizing himself, he managed to stand still for a moment and continued on crossing. Adam was almost on the other side when Neo noticed a small working terminal on the other side of the room. It was just barely functioning, but it was still activated. He moved away for a brief moment to investigate. The first thing that appeared on the screen was the audio logs. There were about 5 logs from some pony named Tuesday. Knowing that he didn't have time to listen to them all, he decided to download them onto his pip-bug for later. Animated to the other side, just as Neo finished up downloading each audio log. Using a short-range radio, Adam called to Neo from the other side.
Come on, brother, we're waiting for you.
Neo stepped up to the old metal bridge with fear, excitement gripping him. Couldn't help but think about the chance he would have if the bridge fell. Would he survive the fall, or would he die a painful death? He shook his head, trying to dismiss the thoughts. Just like the others before him, he put one hoof in front of the other, slowly inched his way to the other side. It took him a few minutes before he joined the rest of the group on the other side of the bridge. He sighed with relief as he looked back to see how much ground he had actually covered. Well, that was scary. I just hope we don't have to do that again, he commented. Lucy ignored his comment. Okay, listen, we're in the building now. All we need to do now is get that talisman and get the hell out of here, Lucy whispered, pointing to the center of the building. Right, everybody replied. Footnote: sneak increased by 2. The tapping of their hooves echoed throughout the dark building as he descended a small stairwell into a large gray room. The large room had a tattered, burnt red cigarette carpet and an old metal desk, which was also melted to the floor. Large, rusted letters dangled from the wall behind the desk, spelling Ar U War. Some of the letters were missing, made it look odd. Lucy pointed to the large metal door into the corner of the room with dusty copper levers above it. I looked down to his pip bucket to check his EFS. So, a small blip flashing towards it. Before I approached the door, I inspected it to make sure it wasn't welded into the door frame like the other doors. A large handle was in the middle of the door. Lucy assumed it was the door handle. She looked at Allie for help, hoping she could use her magic to open. Allie, try and open the door with your magic, she whispered. Allie nodded and attempted to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. It turned out it was locked from the other side. It needed a key, or it needed to be picked. Brown cooked his hoof to the ground, disappointed he couldn't reach their objective. Ah, that's just a little bullshit right there. Anybody got any ideas? Lucy swore. Neil and Adam shrugged. They were just as stumped as Lucy was. Ellie, on the other hand, was levitating a bobby pin and a screwdriver that she got from her bags. You pick locks? Lucy said, sounding surprised. Ellie nodded back to her. She started to pick the lock slowly, inching it across the keyhole near the center, trying not to break her bobby pin. Gently, she moved the screwdriver sideways, making the lock click unlocked. Ta-da! Allie cheered quietly, putting her things away. Wow, good work, Allie, Neil said softly to her.
Yeah, where you go?
Al followed. Yeah, whoopity-doo, you can pick locks. Lucy cheered blandly. Allie patted her chair. Thanks, Lucy, she muttered. The floor held pushed open a large metal door. It ached and creaked loudly as it slowly opened. Finally, he managed to open it long enough for them to slip into the other side. Behind the door was a hallway with glass windows along the side. Rippling, glowing water was being projected onto the wall by the little light coming from the surface. Warning! Heavy radiation detected. Threat level high. Rats outside, 5 per second. The two brothers' pit butts ticked faster and faster as they continued down the hallway until they eventually reached the end. Caution! Radiation loss. Warning! Radiation source detected in water. Calculating. 15 grads per second if exposed. Threat level medium. He entered the room, and on the other side was a massive, large, humming sound came from the center of the room. It was the talisman. The talisman nestled softly between 2 large orbs, holding it in place in the center of the large circular room. The only thing standing between them and reaching the talisman was a large river of bright glowing blue water. The whole room was lit by the mysterious blue liquid. Standing suits read the stats of the water. Warning! Blue chemical water. Chemical used is highly radioactive and can cause severe organic matter if exposed too long. Caution is advised when proceeding. Damn, I thought this was going to be easy, Lucy muttered angrily. Everybody looked around the room for a way across. Well, it was Neo that spotted a few metal planks near the river. We could use those metal planks to get to the other side, Neo pointed out. You sure, kid? Lucy insisted. Let's try and find out, Neo said, dancing over to the planks. Push them around until they crossed the glowing river and touched the other side. See, they do reach, Neo called back to him. Great, now all we need to do is cross it. Lucy stopped for a moment before stating her idea. I don't think Neo or I should go. We're the heaviest in the group. And those planks will look strong or steady. So the question is, who wants to cross it? Adam or Allie? I'll go, Adam said, stepping up. Thanks for volunteering, Adam said kindly. She just nodded to them and making her way to Neo and the plank. She approached the plank with caution as she gulped at the sight of the pulsing river. Be careful, please, Neo said worriedly. I'll try. I can promise that much, Allie replied. Her heart was racing as she gently put her at the next one until she was completely over the river. Neo was almost worried as she was. He cared for her safely, and he did what he could to help, so he put his hose at the end of the plank, trying to stabilize her. No pressure, Allie. No pressure. Take it nice and slow. She whispered to herself as she crossed the plank. Plank shook a bit and bobbed up and down as she continued on. After a few feet, he managed to reach the other side of the river. So he sighed of relief as he took a big step off of the terrifying thing. Lucy nudged Adam. Now you go. Adam turned to her sharply. Surprised her, remarked, What me? Because you're the smallest and a good mechanic. That tells me this is going to come off just by looking at it. You're going to need to stable the magical field holding it there. Adam whimpered, scared for his life. Okay, I'll do it, he grumbled, stumbling his way to his brother in the pack. Allie, Adam's crossing. Use your magic to hold the plank still. Neo called to her with right ear on the suit. Allie nodded back to him. She tilted her head back down to the plank. White glowing air as he outlined the end of the plank. Adam stepped up, terrified.
Brother, if I fall, will you get me?
He asked nervously. I won't let you fall, I promised, Neo said reassuringly. Adam took a deep breath and started to cross. Adam's trip was much smoother than Allie's because of the extra stability. He had small drops of sweat build up in his helmet as he nudged his way onward. Before he knew it, he was on the other side of the valley. Congratulations, you made it, Allie congratulated him.
That was scary,
Adam commented. Looking back to his brother on the other side.
You get the talisman. I'll wait for you,
Allie said, pointing at the talisman. Adam went up to the machine of the control panel, and at the bottom, a small green field flashed up. Welcome to the Iron Wolf Water Treatment Plant. Please insert the commands below. Adam started to type in a command in the text below. Do you wish to deactivate the levitation field? Press 1 for yes and 2 for no. He typed in 1. Processing. Field disabled. Have a nice day. Adam smiled at how easy that was. Just like that, the talisman fell straight down to him. Glowing faintly across was beautiful to hold. Even just holding the blue glowing gem was magical. Adam turned to the rest of the group and held it high in the air. Good work, kid. Now you and Allie get across. We'll get the hell out of this freaking place. Lucy told him on the radio. Now nodded back to her, placing the talisman safely in his bag. He passed by Allie as he stepped on the plank. He was nervous, but not nearly as much as he was before. Step by step, he made it across at double speed.
Whoa!
Adam sighed before touching down on the other side. Good job, Adam, Neo said, patting Adam on the back. That's your turn, Allie, Neo said on the radio. Allie waved to him, signaling to the crossing. Suddenly, she moved across the plank, carefully trying to keep her balance. Then, within a short second, she lost her balance and stumbled to the glowing river. Allie! Neo cried loudly. Shh, kid, she's gone. You can't get her. Neo stepped down. The hell with you! Neo screamed as he jumped into the river after her.
Brother, no!
Adam shouted, reaching out before he leaped in. But it was too late. He had already gone in after her. Stupid fucking kid, Lucy yelled at him, holding Adam back.
Doesn't know how to swim. I need to get to him.
Adam yelled, struggling to get free from Lucy's grasp.
Let me go!
Adam yelled once more, finally breaking free. He managed to knock Lucy on her flank. She broke free. And he started to look for something to throw into the river to his brother. He spotted on the wall an old fire hose box. Quickly, he dashed for the box and threw it open, taking at the end of the bread's hood on one hoof and bolting out to the edge of the glowing wicker to help his brother. There at the edge, him and Lucy waited for something to surface. There was only nothing, only silence.
Come on, brother. Please, get up.
Alex hinted to himself nervously. Then two far figures took shape in the water. Neo braced to the surface, struggling for breath. Without hesitation, Adam threw the hose into the river towards his brother. Neo panicked, barely felt the hose hosel gripped tightly on his hose. Then, with the confined force of Adam and Lucy, they pulled Neo back to safety with Allie on his back. He started letting out hiking coughs as he took deep breaths in. That was too close!
Brother, are you okay?
Adam asked, helping him up. Once he was up, he unlatched his helmet and he let his head feel the air. Quickly, he went down on Allie. She was unconscious. He helped her unlatch the helmet so he could put his ear to her mouth and listen for her breath. But that was nothing. Then the only thing he could think of was to start giving her air through her mouth. 1, 2, 3, breathe! He said, putting his mouth to hers, feeling the air into her lungs. 1, 2, 3, breathe! He said once more, giving air into her breath. Just like that, she started coughing up some of the blue water. To her, everything was blurry.
Hell, what happened?
She said, trying to reclaim her vision. Soon, her sight was focused again as she saw Neo over her, and smiling slightly with a hopeful look in his eyes. Welcome back, Neo said softly to her. In her mind, she remembered what Adam said to her earlier. If I die right now, then I want to be looking at him, she thought to herself as she slowly drifted off into an unconscious state. Allie? Neo asked gently. Allie just lay there with her eyes closed and a peaceful look on her face. Allie? He asked again, but this time he was more worried. She didn't respond again before her body became fully numb. Neo started to panic. Is she dead? He asked nervously. Lucy started to decide angrily. Get out of my way! I need to help her! Their suit levitated in a small bag with a Venusaur's potion in it. Drink this up, Cupcake, she said, putting it back to her lips, and slowly drank the potion down to the last drop. There, that should save her, Lucy said, satisfying, and put her helmet back on. And you! She shouted angrily, pointing to Neo. He backed away at the angry mare. Lucy swung her hoof onto his head, knocking it to the ground. Ow! He yelled in pain, sitting up and rubbing his sore head. What's that for? He snapped. That's for being stupid, Lucy said negatively.
Here, brother, let me help you,
Alice said, coming to help his brother up again. Okay, now I got that out of my system. Let's get your helmet back on, and let's get the fuck out of here, Lucy said, racing her hoof down to the metal ground. Adam helped Neo get his helmet back on, and Lucy persisted Allie on his back so he could carry her back. A few minutes later, they were back in the quiet streets of the old city, significantly darker than when they first arrived. It was almost nighttime dark under the inner city. Swiftly, they maneuvered their way through the streets and back the way they came. Neo was just trying normal when he felt something tug at his leg for a moment. Huh? He said, looking down at the ground. A small wire that had been pulled in between two strange station wagons. A loud swoosh followed this large wagon, and as the wire swooped down across the street, it hit a large metal tank across the street, making a loud booming noise. Everyone paused for a brief moment. The noise echoed throughout the dark buildings. Who the fuck did that? Lucy shouted quietly at the radio.
Lucy, why do we have to be quiet?
She grunted. It's nothing. Maybe he didn't hear. She was interrupted by a loud, deathly, screeching howl. Ruth turned around to see one pony standing on top of the story wagon. At this point, it didn't look normal. Rather, it had no mane, and its skin was tarred and frayed. Small bits and pieces of the creature were missing from its legs and face. Then 4 more showed up around it. Then 10, then 20. Run, Lucy whispered, but Neo now just stood there as more and more joined the deathly-looking creatures. Run! She shouted. In that moment, hundreds of zombie ponies raced for them. So this time, Neo and Al decided to run. Hundreds howled as they tasted through the streets. Al's Zia vest was completely full of red dots, as more from everywhere behind them joined the frenzy. Some tripped and stumbled. Some even got trampled by their own kind. The hill which led back to the entrance into the city was just up the street, only 200 feet from their position. Adam and Neo ran to their position. They were so close they could hear their panting as they sprinted after them. They ran up the hill, trying to open the door to the city. The ghoulish creatures were now just 100 feet away. Lucy managed to get the door open, started stabbing at men. Come on, Neo, jump! She yelled to him as he leaped for his and Allie's life through the metal door frame. Using all their muscle, Adam and Lucy shut the door before the creatures could get to them. The door shut with a clank as they caught their breath. Not to undermine the horror of the situation of a whole bunch of ghouls chasing you down, wanting your flesh, but really, author? Really? Muscle is spelled Musclel. You spelled it Mussel. All I'm thinking now is that they were using a whole bunch of clams. Worst fic ever. What the hell were those things? Barked to Lucy.
Yeah, what kind of monsters were they?
Adam asked, panting. Ghouls, former ponies. They're what happens when you get too comfortable with radiation, Lucy said grimly when she removed her helmet. They eat ponies. There aren't even... I don't even want to think about it, she said, putting her helmet down on the floor in the shower chamber, laying against the metal floor, while 100 mean hoes pounding on the door behind her. Footnote. Level up. New perk. You should have given me the sweet roll. You gain 10 HP every time you eat food and drink water. Also gain an additional 20 HP if you eat looted or stolen food. Level up. Would you like to level up, Adam? New perk. Brotherly Bond. You gain XP every time you're around Neo, and AP in stats when he is close by.